Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for January 8th, 2026, the 353rd day of the Sex Offender Administration. Minneapolis officials have identified the woman shot and killed by an ICE agent Wednesday as 37-year-old local resident Renee Nicole Good. Good was peacefully protesting ICE's presence in her neighborhood when 3 ICE agents rushed her vehicle. As she tried to drive away, an unidentified ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good. Good was performing a good deed, but in the Trump administration, no good deed goes unpunished. 9 Republicans in the Republican-controlled U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday voted with Democrats to advance the Democratic legislation that would reinstate expired health care subsidies as the two parties jockey to lure voters in November's congressional elections with competing approaches to an affordability crisis. They are expected to vote on it on Thursday. Who knew that Republican voters need affordable health insurance too? The Democrats won 2 special elections in Virginia. Former Richmond delegate Mike Jones defeated Republican John Thomas by a margin of 67.8% to 32%. Democrat Charlie Schmidt won his special election defeating Republican Richard Stonich by 76.5% to 23.4%. Virginia is for lovers of democracy. The Senate is poised to take up a bipartisan sanctions bill that would pressure Russia to end the war in Ukraine. If only they could pressure Trump to end the war on America. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for January 8th, 2026, the 353rd day of the Sex Offender Administration. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on MindDog TV.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee. And hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Yeah. You know, not easy. Looks good. Long about I forgot to do something. I can't believe I forgot to do this. Well, it's been distracting. I don't know if you noticed. Yeah, I've been distracted. Good morning, folks. It is Thursday, January 8th, 2026. Not a lot to make you laugh about today. Listen, we are in a very ugly place in America where a woman can get killed by thugs not breaking any laws, not doing it, and then he's shot in the face and people will run cover for the Nazi Gestapo. People trying to blame this woman as if she was trying to run this guy down. If she wanted to run him down, he'd be dead. The cop in front of the car. If she wanted to run him down, he'd be dead. And listen, I know people are not tuning into this to hear my opinion or anything. The facts are the facts. And the truth is, people are running cover for the Nazi regime because they don't want to take responsibility for their role in enabling the horror that is taking place in America right now. An innocent person is dead, murdered by people on your payroll. So, yeah, let's laugh it up and try to find a distraction here today. I don't really want to talk that much about it, but I can't help myself because it is driving me crazy to see how many fucking idiots are running cover for the Nazis. Give it up. Admit you fucking hired video game warriors to act like police officers. This is in no justification for this. Even in the DHS regulations, it tells people you are not allowed to fire on a moving vehicle or somebody behind the wheel of a moving vehicle if they're not pointing a gun at you. Oh, the car was a weapon. No, if the car was a fucking weapon, the guy would be dead. And I'm so sick of the fucking people running cover for Nazis. Give it up. Yeah, we're ready to laugh. You make me laugh. I'm sorry. Our job here is to give you a distraction from that, but it's everywhere and it's fucking eating me up. And I don't want to do a show today. I don't want to do a show fucking ever again. I want to fucking start a war over this shit. As somebody who's seen these fucking idiot thugs close up and personal, the Nazis went out of their way to recruit non-professionals because they hate brown people or anybody who might look brown or anybody who's defending people who are being persecuted simply because they look brown. They don't, oh, you might be an illegal alien, or you might know one, or you might care about one. When it happens to your wife or daughter, you will care. But it shouldn't come to that. I didn't sleep, obviously. Good morning. I'll try to soldier on with this. Soldier on. Yeah, soldiers are gunning us down. Today, we're going to meet an author who has written about hope. And tomorrow, we're going to be talking about Jesus and hope. And I got none. Hope has left the station. Hold on. Seeing the link to cancel or reschedule, but not the link to sign in. I got to take care of our guest. I'm going to play a bit of a long, you know what? This should make you laugh, right? While I try to get our guest. This is not really a long commercial. I should have Naked Wines here, so I'd have like 3 minutes. I'm going to go with Stevie's favorite commercial, Tantally. Because. Why? Because Tantally, because. That's why.
Steven to sit down. Really wants to get down. Stevie likes to get it on with the girl that's made of silicone. He goes to Tantally, click the link. He goes to Tantally, soft and pink. She comes without a head, but at least she'll never shit the bed. You need a fake rubber squeeze. You like Stephen Ortiz.
Right.
It's so soft. Get your 10% off. He goes to Tantally. He goes to Tantally. He goes to Tantally. He goes to Tantally.
God damn it! I'm in an angry mood today, if you can't tell. Yeah. All right. Good morning, folks. In the room with me now is nobody. Nobody's in the room with me now because I'm busy pushing buttons. In the room with me now is GD Fenderson. Good morning, GD.
Morning America, MindDogTV.com. Please do not send me links to reaction videos unless I mention in them. Thank you very much. Go to minddogtv.com/merch for all the stuff you don't need but ought to have. Support your local mercenaries and enjoy the suffering.
Yeah. How are we supposed to just like make people laugh and just like be a distraction and not talk about this shit all day? How? How, damn it?
Just do it, man.
Just do it. Just forget about it. Just forget about it. Just quell your anger down, subliminate it, let it eat you up inside, and don't fucking scream about it. That's what you're telling me. What kind of fucking psychologist are you? You suck as a therapist.
That's not what I'm telling you. You suck as a patient, because that's not what I'm telling you.
That's true. Without a doubt.
Yeah, I didn't say anything like that, but you're welcome. Now, what happened last night? My wife and I did not. We did not go to trivia last night.
You know what, Russ White? Go fuck yourself, you fucking Nazi pig. Get out of my fucking room. You're banned. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay. Last night, my wife and I did not go to our trivia thing, so I tuned in at 8 o'clock to listen to your interview with somebody, and there was no interview there.
I'm assuming she was saving lives. I was so ready to be just enamored with the life that she led because, doctor, she's got all these doctors. Her credentials are incredible. She went to Nicaragua and Honduras and all this stuff, doctored across border, and just like donating her, giving her life to save people and make the world a better place right from her youth. And I was just willing to be like, wow, what an amazing person you are. And then she doesn't show up. So, and I was writing to her saying, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we're going to start soon. Nothing. I got nothing. Still have not received anything from her. And it's like, man, you have no idea how disappointed I am, but I understand one thing.
Just so you know, man, I didn't interrupt you, but Samantha just popped in.
I know.
I want you to know, we're not talking about you, Samantha. We're talking about last night. It's a different her.
Yes, I know. What kind of therapist are you?
I was talking to Samantha, not you. You're a terrible patient again.
All right, get off my show. You know what? Anyway, I was. I understand that being a doctor, saving lives, and what all she did. But we were going to talk about kids' books. She's also a children's book author. But I'm assuming she was saving lives, and that's far more important than talking to a dopey guy on the internet on a Wednesday night. So I'm hoping she was saving somebody's life instead of just dissing me or whatever. But these things with doctors, they constantly have you waiting in the room for them. One time out, and they leave you waiting, and they'll never come back. I felt like I was in a waiting room. Oh, just wait. The doctor will be with you. When? It's 9:30. She was supposed to be here at 8 o'clock. So we'll see if she reschedules. I don't know. Yeah. I got to get the book together. You know what? I forgot to get Essie Schroeder's book together for the overlay here. Maybe she has it, and that will save me some work, last minute work. I was scrambling.
Hold up the book and say, "This is the book," so she can hold it up.
Yeah, when we get ready for the. So you know what? I'm going to introduce her now because I have to go through windows of windows to get her, because things have gone wrong here technically. Multi-award winning author Samantha Evans Schroeder. It's tough for me to say because of the way it's spelled. Specializes in articulating grief and loss, and boy, do I need that articulated today. Leading grievers toward hope and healing, and man, do I need that. Her 20 plus years of leadership experience and contributions over 30 books enable her to serve others. Good for her. Another great person. This world has got some good people in it. Speaking truth and transparency, humor, and love. She's here now. Let's say hello to Samantha Evans.
Hey there, guys. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
I'm a little I'm shredded. And hope and healing have left the station for me. I am not I'm not feeling it. So thank you. Maybe your presence here is meant for me personally to help me get through some really rough things that I'm going through right now. So thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's a Prodigal Son nonfiction because it sounds like it says Samantha Evans, and that's you.
That is me. I got married a couple years ago and added the Schroeder. So it's like,
Right.
IDDER is kind of how it sounds, but there's so many extra letters I don't understand. But yeah, so Samantha Evans Schroeder. And my late husband was a crack addict and an alcoholic before I knew him. And he was sober when I met him. He told me his whole backstory, but ended up relapsing. And it was a huge, I mean, we can get more into the story, but he asked me to write his story at the end. He passed away in 2019. And I think in 2018, he said, I want you to interview me and I want you to write my story. So that's what this is. And it's a story of redemption.
Now, just out of curiosity, during the interview, were there like things that he brought forth or mentioned that said, oh yeah, by the way, I should have told you this before we got married, but since but long as we're here, were there moments like that? Because
I didn't feel like
to hear some of that stuff.
I didn't feel like there were any surprises. Like I wasn't surprised, like, oh, that happened, but he went into more detail with a lot of things. He had talked about being physically abused by a babysitter as a child, but that was really all he ever said. And then in the interview, he told me more about some of the things that happened. So it was kind of like getting deeper and there were new details, but not new circumstances, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
How are you here and able to talk about that? How are you able to smile? When I read the synopsis of the book, my initial thought, well, this is a novel, and she just gave her protagonist her name because it felt like you can't be sharing this. This can't be real, and you still be able to go forth and tell the story with strength and dignity and a smile on your face like you have right now. So how do you get to that place?
Well, I'm not going to force my faith onto anyone, but I definitely feel like Jesus, like Christ, was a part of my healing, and my hope. But it's been 7 years, and the idea of being able to tell other people that they're not alone in the things that they experience is also very healing and helps me to keep going. I got a letter from someone a few days ago, and she was like, oh my gosh, I needed this book. I didn't realize how much I needed this book. Another beta reader was like, I am in tears. I'm wrecked. This is amazing. Like, I relate to this on so many levels. I'm not an addict, but I relate to this, the shame and the trauma and stuff. And so it's helping people. And that helps me too, to keep moving forward.
Now,
very good.
So you're currently a widow.
Yes. And remarried in 2023. Okay,
so are you considering marrying perhaps another recovering person to get a sequel book? Just to maybe another book, and also a less complicated last name.
Yeah, right. Can you change your last name? Okay, so here's the truth. When I was dating Tim Schroeder, I was like, I need to marry you because I need your last name because it's so unique. There's not another Samantha Schroeder out there. There's a Samantha Evans who's an erotica author, and there's a Samantha Evans who is a cookbook author. And so I was like, I just needed to drop the Evans and come up with it. So even though people have trouble saying Schroeder, in German it's Schroeder.
Okay.
Are you sure the erotica and cookbook aren't the same thing or same author? Like I don't know.
A really sexy cookbook. No,
the Food Network. I'm just for the record. When the Food Network started, they did try to meld the sexy with the cooking.
They say a way to a man's heart is through his taste bud or his stomach or something.
I mean, the joke about being barefoot and pregnant and in the kitchen came from somewhere, right? But
yes. So good for you. I mean, the whole idea of somebody worth saving. Because I feel like, I talk about this all the time. Like, why would if there is such a thing as what you have faith in, why would they waste their energy on me? I am such a dirty, rotten son of a. Anyway,
Son of two parents from New York.
I would
Yeah.
love to read the foreword if you want, because it kind of speaks to that. Are you open to
yeah,
that?
please,
Sure,
yes.
Or,
Give me
like,
some
it-
hope and healing already. I'm needing
All
it.
right. So this is an author's note, and this is some of what Clint said himself, and some like he said, and I had to I don't know, make it. It was his words, but I had to fit them into a paragraph, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is his heart. I believed the lies. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Even now, Legion, that's what I named our enemy, is messing with me, trying to tell me that people won't want to hear this. My story won't matter. Because he knows if I expose the truth of my victory, then you'll believe there's hope for you too. You and I both know on days we're trying our best to sober up, if only one voice taunted us to drink, we could silence one demon. But a Roman legion, 5,000 foot soldiers plus commanders plus cavalry, that's what you and I are up against, the population of a small city. And Legion's got you changed into the Lazarus pit at the dead center of his army. He's pinned you with the exact same lies. You are not good enough. You're not worthy. You believe the lie, but I wish you wouldn't. If God sees worth in someone as flawed as me, then he sees worth in you too. If God can use a screw up like me, he can use anyone. God's greatest glories shine in the fiercest darkness. Dear God, open prison doors with this book. Batter down judgmental hearts. Your grace is sufficient for all, not just the addicts and sinners. Amen.
Wow. I appreciate all of that. And I feel like, I think the idea is, for me anyway, is that you can't just accept that I don't have to do anything to redeem myself. Like I can just accept that all my dirty deeds will be forgiven, and all I have to do is wait for it. Like I don't have to go out and be active to try to put some good back into the world,
Right.
and try to take some accountability on myself. And that's where, because people think I'm like, just kind of virtue signaling a lot of times when I talk about what I'm doing. I was like, I don't do that. I do a lot of things in this world trying to make up for all the bad things I do. I'm not virtuous signaling. If anything, I'm signaling how unvirtuous I have been and all the work I feel like I need to do to kind of just get back to the starting line, if that makes any sense. So
Right.
I appreciate his sentiment on that, but I think it's important to tell people, don't just sit around and wait for redemption. You have to kind of prove that you're willing to make some changes and put some effort into it, right?
Right. You definitely have to step forward toward the change. You can't stay
Yeah.
stuck where you are.
Yeah.
So
And I think that just, believing that anybody is worthy of saving kind of gives people okay, then I can just go on, you know what, I can go out and do whatever I want because I'll still be worth saving. And that's
you
where
don't
it gets
think
a
it
little
takes
conflicted to me.
weight off their shoulders? Like, I don't have to earn it. I don't have to, I'm accepted for who I am, where I am. Do you think there's part
No,
of that too?
you know what? I think if you can accept that, if you really can absorb that message into your heart, sure, that works. For me, I have because I'm a logical person, I'm thinking, yeah, that sounds nice, but you can't accept me. I know what I've done. I know I would tell me if I were God and I was looking at me, I would say, yeah, you go out and prove it. I'm not taking your word for it that there's goodness in your heart. You got to go out and earn it. You do have to go out and earn it because you let me down so far. Looking at me, that's who and obviously I'm not God. So,
What?
but
That's the whole reason why I got on this show, because I'm done.
What have you done? He's a terrible therapist. He's trying to be a therapist, but he's terrible at it.
Actually, I've never claimed to be a therapist. The closest I've ever come to being a therapist was I used to be a minister, and that's not a therapist. It's just a sounding board.
All right. So why did you come on the show? What were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just kidding him because he was saying that he's not God. And I was like, oh, no, that's the only reason why I joined the show because I thought I was going to get to work with God, you know?
Wrong podcast. Shoot.
Yeah. Well, let's go. Let's talk about your writing for a bit, and we'll come because I'm sure the message is there even within this. I read something. Some of your friends said normal people don't write books just for fun. And I think because we talk to creatives all the time, and there is a point of just writing for fun or writing for the process rather than writing that for the term that I'm going to put this out to the world and that people are going to find it and accept it and whatever message they get from it. And I struggle with that because nobody creates not to have somebody look at the piece of art that you've created and try to feel something from it. But on the other side, I think we all do it for ourselves. When did you come to this? And I know friends have said this to you, but when did you feel it that, yeah, I need to start publishing this stuff rather than just keep it to myself?
I had published books on Amazon before I realized I was an author. I thought I was just someone who was writing books. Like it was just this weird disconnect. But I experienced a few miscarriages early in my first marriage, and I started journaling for myself. I had no intention of sharing the words with anyone. It was for me, it was for healing. And I'd gone on the internet and I looked up books about infant loss, and there was not really anything out there. There were a couple of things that were like, 10 years ago, I had a miscarriage. 15 years ago, I had a miscarriage. And I was like, you've already like gone through your story. You know how your story ends. You know whether or not you were able to carry children until full term. And so I was kind of disappointed with the content that I found. And then also one night when I was journaling, I wrote the words "you see" as if I was talking to someone else. I was like, maybe I should be writing a book about this. So then I turned my journal into a book. And that was a really cathartic process. Writing The Prodigal Son was not cathartic. That like stole my soul. But writing that first book about miscarriage and being able to publish that, that was when the transformation started to happen. And I started to realize like, hey, I just wrote a book. That's not something everyone does. But I still didn't, I still wasn't confident to call myself an author right away. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Well, I've yet to call myself a comedian, so I'm just
He's hiding behind forensic humorist or whatever he hides behind.
I'm not hiding. That's
he's a comedian. He keeps doing comedy shows. Hello. It's like, yeah, I'm writing books, but I'm not an author. I get it, but I play guitar, and I'm not a musician. I play guitar and sing, but I'm not a musician. I'm a forensic soundist. That's
well, okay. Now I'm going to defend that. I'm going to push back and defend it. Because in my mind, there's a difference between a musician and somebody who plays guitar. Okay.
All right.
I have friends that are musicians. They're very, very much more talented than I am. They know their craft. I just play guitar. I didn't even know what my guitar was called until about a couple of weeks ago. I didn't even know Oh, I didn't, because my guitar has like a name. It's like a Fender Stratocaster, or Gibson Les Paul. My guitar is called a Calypso. I didn't know that until I've had the guitar for 30 years. I just found out a couple of weeks ago that it's a Calypso because I'm not a musician. I just pick up the guitar and I play it. I don't know my craft.
Right.
So would you say that there's a difference between someone who writes a book and someone who's an author?
Oh, sure.
I don't know the answer.
In my mind, there is, but no, and I think, but in my mind, I think the difference is, the author is the realization. The author is the realization that you have that talent, I guess.
Right.
All right.
And initially, when you're just writing a book, you don't know that you have the talent. You're just releasing steam. You're just getting it off your chest.
Right.
And then after a while, you're like, wait a minute, I can actually do this on purpose. I'm an author.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just like owning the identity.
Yeah.
So, Right. So if Matt decided he was a musician, he could call himself a musician. He could.
I've heard him. No, he couldn't. No, I'm just teasing. No, I'm just teasing. Actually, he's much better at that than I am at it. So yeah, I would consider him a musician, and he actually knows more about the craft than he lets on. He goes like, "I'm this dopey guy." No, and then you mention
listen
theory.
to him.
You mention theory, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Actually, that's not a diminished chord. That's a
How far away is your guitar, Matt? Do you need to go get it and play a little bit for us?
No, I don't need to play for anybody. I am going to be playing today for a bunch of people who really need to hear it, and I need to save all that energy for that. And you know what? I don't want to make it about me, but I do. This whole thing about wearing the labels. This is because I consider myself a songwriter who played music by default because I couldn't find somebody else to do it for me, to play my songs and sing my songs for me. But I became a musician who played in bands and covers a lot of stuff. And over 55 years of doing that, I got competent in just delivering songs. I can put a song over, but I don't
That's
don't
not
feel
someone
like
dinking around on a guitar in their living room. Those words are not the same thing.
Oh yeah, I've given my life to creating music. Again, I think of myself more as a songwriter, as somebody who creates music, but would prefer to have really good musicians do it. And this is why I do hire a lot of good musicians to create the final recordings and stuff. But when I'm out there doing it, I always have that imposter syndrome. Like, oh boy, if there's a real guitar player out there, he's seeing right through me as a just a guy who's a hobbyist or a intermediate level player trying to pass himself off as a professional. It's a psychological thing, and he's a terrible therapist.
That happens with authors too.
I'm not a therapist. I'm not a therapist, but you are a terrible patient.
Clearly. Anyway, so yeah, that's an interesting thing. Now, you talked about miscarriages, and I'm struggling with the idea that people, the adage, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. Obviously, you've handled it well. For me, there is a breaking point, and there are points where I just, I lose any hope. And today it was a day full of hopelessness and despair. Do you ever have those moments, and how do you get through those moments?
Yeah, honestly, I don't believe the phrase God doesn't give you more than you can handle. I don't agree with that. It's not biblical. It's not in the Bible anywhere. It's not a Bible verse. I think he does give us more than we can handle, and then hopes we'll trust in him to help us walk through those situations.
He's not a sadist. That doesn't make him a sadist. Because it
No,
feels
I
like,
don't think so.
Listen,
I don't know.
I think if again, trying to put myself, and this is probably the wrong.
You're such a great devil's advocate. I appreciate you.
I'm not. I might be the devil. I might actually be the devil.
I don't think so.
I want to function as my own lawyer, Your Honor. I am the devil, and I am the devil's advocate. It just seems to me that if I were God, I'd have such a sense of humor looking at what I created in me. Like, look what I'm going to do to him today.
I am so glad you're not God. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what it feels like, though, and
right.
I don't blame him, because I'm that kind of guy too. I love a good prank, and I love. I
think God has a sense of humor, but I don't think he messes. I don't think the heart thing. I don't know. Our world is so broken. I don't blame God on that. We live in a very broken place. How do I get through to the hope and healing? Is that what you were asking a few minutes ago? Just day by day. I mean, sometimes there are some days where I would just close myself in my room and weep because the world just becomes too much. But I've seen people die of grief. I've known people who've never overcome the hard things that they see. And I don't want to be one of them. I don't want to be a person who is just sad until the day I die.
Right.
Because death happens to us all. Death happens, tragedy happens. And so how do we learn to move forward, like love the person, miss the person, but still move forward and find joy on the other side of that. And not right away. I mean, I grieved for years, but I feel like I'm smiling again for sure. So
I've met a lot of people like you recently, authors who write about grief, and it seems like every single one of them is compelled to help other people deal with their grief. Is that a a response that is thought about, or is that just something you feel? I mean, it's kind of hard for me to articulate, but do you get up every morning and think my purpose now is to help others, or does it just come like you go start to go through your day and then an opportunity to help somebody else presents itself like
I think
spontaneously?
I think it's empathy because when I was in the darkest parts of my grief, I felt very alone and just incredibly lonely. I felt like people didn't understand what I was going through. Um, right after my late husband passed away, I really only wanted to talk to widows and widowers. After I miscarried, I really only wanted to talk to other women who'd experienced infant loss. And so I realized that there was a camaraderie there for people. And I have the ability, I have the skill and the talent to be able to articulate things that people can't put into words themselves. So writing my stories have been a way for me to reach out to people and say, I'm here with you. I'm the woman who lost her baby and I'm sitting next to you on the couch, and I'm the widow who knows what you're going through. And just to be that friend, it's kind of like paying it forward for all the people who helped me when I was going through my grief. This is my way to pay it forward.
Well, let me just say, I know exactly what you're going through because I had a cat that died 18 years ago. That that's a joke. Well, it's a bad joke. When the day my son died, within 2 hours of my son's death, a woman called me and said, "I know exactly what you're going through. I had a cat that died 18 years ago," and I was like, really? That's exactly what I'm going through? 18 years? I would hope that 18 years from now, whether it was my cat or my son or whatever, I would be able to look at it in a much uh, easier way than I'm looking at it right now in the present as it just happened. So
That's
that
so
whole idea,
terrible. I'm
yeah.
sorry she said that to you. That's
I'm
awful.
not, because I'm not, because I think it makes great comedy fodder.
I'm not either because I feel like she was being very honest. I think that's what she believed because she was a woman who never had children, and to her, that's the closest thing she knows to having a child was that cat, and the loss is still real. And so I'm not sorry that she said that to me. I feel like she was being honest, and I do find humor in that. And in a way, the absurdity of it is comforting to me. It's like, oh yeah, well, there's still reasons to laugh in the world. So, but
No,
because you were talking
we
about,
froze a
I'm
little
somebody
bit.
who's gone through. I think that's the last thing what people want to hear is, "I know what you're going through." They want sometimes it's just to sit in silence with them and say,
There we go.
"I'm here for you. You go ahead. You tell me whatever you want to feel." And I'll absorb it and take on that. But there's a danger in taking on being a sponge because you talked about empathy. And I think I love empathy and I think this world needs more of it. But if you are an empathetic person, like me, my wife says this all the time. Sometimes you go there with light in your heart to help people out, and you come home carrying their baggage and their sorrow. How do you avoid that?
Write a book. I know that sounds terrible, but that part of it is I wrote the book, I said the words, and so now I can help people without having to be in that space with them. And a lot of times they do come to me and they share with me, but I feel like this is a way for me to give my heart to you and to help you realize you're not alone, and I don't have to absorb every single thing you're feeling in the process. So
Wow.
a lot of what I get from people is thank you for writing this book. This has helped me to heal. And sometimes they get into their story, but I don't ever feel like I'm carrying anything too awful or too terrible because even if I have those hard conversations, I have to walk away and remind myself like it's not my job to carry that. That is not my pain to to carry up the mountain, so to speak.
In the picture,
I know back in the day when I used to be a minister and I'd have to listen to, I had to listen.
was a
It was
terrible
my job. I had to listen to people.
he was
Right.
a terrible minister. That's where he learned to be a terrible
Well,
therapist.
okay.
Comedian.
Okay, I was a terrible minister. No. So I'd listen to people and I would hear some of the most awful things and I would just hear them. And then once they were gone, okay, I had to say to myself, okay, big picture. This is not me. This is not my burden. Big picture. Now, if it's something that's going on that's like affects many, many more people, what can I do to affect it? You know, so for example, the woman that was shot yesterday by ICE, okay, shot and killed. Big picture, you know, she has a 6-year-old. There's an orphan. They have a 6-year-old. Their 6-year-old child is an orphan now. Okay, so there's nothing we could do to bring her back. So can people get together, set up a fund for the 6-year-old orphan and name it for her and in some way pay a tribute to her and also make a statement against ICE? You know, that's like the big picture. That's like the next thing. You know, okay, I grieve for her. She's gone. She's not coming back. She has a 6-year-old son who does still need help. You know, so that's how my brain works. Okay, what can be done now? Because I listen to the grieving. What's next? You know, so I don't wallow in it. Turn it into action. Like you said, your action was the book. So turn it into an action.
Yeah, that's like basically what I was talking about the idea that just waiting for redemption feels like you're taking it for granted, and I think you do have to do something, whether it's writing a book, whether it's doing something for the survivors of a tragedy or something like that. And that's where I feel like, boy, do I have a long list of to-dos because of all the negative stuff I built up over a long lifetime of just being a terrible sinner.
Yeah, but you're talking about doing stuff to redeem yourself. That's what it sounds like. And I'm talking about doing stuff to help others, which is slightly different.
I think I hear what you're saying, but my act of trying to help myself is not, it's not necessarily based in, if I do this, God will look more kindly on me. It's that if I do this, I'm going to feel better about myself and be able to get through the day knowing that I helped somebody else and I put that out there. And that's basically where I'm at now. It's like living day to day. Can I feel good today? Can I make myself feel like worthy? And how do I make myself feel worthy? Is by being of service to others. That's where it comes from. So yeah, it's self-serving, but it's not real. I'm not thinking of myself in the moment where I'm serving others. And at that moment, I am totally concentrated on what they are feeling right now. I've written about self-forgiveness. Is self-empathy?
I'm sorry, what?
Self-empathy, being empathetic with yourself, and what's the difference between that idea of forgive? Because the song I'm thinking about is called "Sweet Forgiveness," and it says, "And I got a friend in Jesus. I know He died for me, but I pray that He forgives me for the times that I don't believe." And that's can you forgive me for being the sinner that I am, because I know I'm supposed to believe and all that stuff. Is there self-empathy? Like, oh, all right, I get what you're feeling. And it's okay to feel that way.
Yeah. I call it being gracious to like giving yourself grace to be imperfect, giving yourself grace to figure it out and not have everything figured out. Like, just, I think a lot of times we're hard on ourselves because we know we can do better. We should be doing better. We know exactly what we did wrong. We focus on our failures. I think a lot of times we just need to give ourselves a little patience, like be patient with ourselves and give grace to ourselves.
Excellent.
And to realize that we're good enough. It's okay. I'm trying my best. I call it
picture of you with the book. You know that the picture I used in the promo. You have got such this big smile on, and because it's not well, maybe it is a happy book, and I just don't get it. But it's a story about tragedy, and then I see you like lit up reading the book, and it's like, wow, this is how do I get to that place?
Because she's looking at the centerfold, Matt.
Yeah, I'm looking at the book by Samantha Evans.
Yeah. How do I get to that place where there's really true joy in knowing that I poured my heart out for people, and I have no idea they're going to accept this for the intent that it was sent in, or any of it, or get the message behind it, or any of that stuff. Because a lot of times, and this happened just this week with somebody thinking nappy head, walking around nappy, is not exactly the message I put out there. People misinterpret messages all the time. So I was like, yeah, I wrote this book, but I'm always going to be in doubt of whether is have I done any good? And to me, looking at that picture of you, you are lit up with joy in that picture, and it feels like it's somewhere in your heart, that you've done a good thing, and that's what I struggle with. And how do you get to that place where you can celebrate yourself and the work that you've done in a way that expresses true joy like that?
I think forgiveness is a huge piece of that, being able to forgive yourself and step forward. Obviously, the prodigal son crackhead to Jesus freak is a super hard story. I alluded to a scene with physical abuse from the babysitter, but there's domestic violence, there's drug use, there's I felt like he was cheating on me with alcohol, even though that's not what addicts are doing. And so there's a lot of darkness in the book, and I had to balance that. I mean, for my own sake and for the sake of the readers, I don't think readers would have been able to get through the book without humor. So a lot of what people are saying is this is raw, this is gritty, and it also made me laugh. Like there's a scene where like he struggled with school. He had ADHD, so like his grades were really bad. He struggled with teachers. He just really struggled to get the grades that he needed to get. Barely passed high school. So when he was going for his bachelor's, there was one day I was working on that miscarriage book. I was writing the miscarriage book, and he came into the room where I was working, and he said, "Sam, what's magna cum laude? What's magnum cum laude?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "It sounds like a weird cop porno. What's magnum cum laude?" And I was like, magna cum laude? And so he graduated with magna cum laude honors from his bachelor's. But like I talk about, I put that in the story of like, this sounds like a, cop themed porno, because like you need to balance this really hard stuff that you're talking about with these moments of just levity, and like, let's laugh when there's room to laugh, because otherwise we're not going to make it through this.
What is the significant? I'll give you a very backstory on my understanding of the prodigal son. I had been disconnected from my family for many, many years, so I was a runaway. And when I first reconnected with them for Christmas, my mother bought me a Winter Parker. And my brother was upset by that. And he said, he was calling me the prodigal son. Look, he goes away. He's nobody. And why does he deserve a Parker? And then he started calling me the prodigal son. I don't know what that means, because I was never a biblical scholar in the least. And then I looked it up, and basically I wore that kind of like as a, I don't know, badge of honor or a badge of shame. I don't know what, but what is the significance of the prodigal son as far as the title of this book?
I mean, so Clint's story. So for any of your listeners, viewers who don't know the story, the Bible story is, the younger son asks for his half of the inheritance from his rich father, runs away, spends it on prostitutes and drinking and partying, and then he blows all the money and ends up as a pig farmer. Like he's so destitute, he's wishing he could eat what the pigs are eating, which disgusts me. And then he decides he's going to try to go back to his father as a servant. And so he goes back to his father's household, but when his dad sees him coming, the dad is just filled with love and compassion and forgiveness, and runs to his son and wraps his son in his arms and brings him home and throws a party. And that's where your brother with the parka comes in, because there's an elder brother who's like, why does he deserve a party? I've been here this whole time, like doing what you wanted me to do. And so Jesus compares that to like bringing like the broken people into his kingdom. And, the religious people were angry about who Jesus was letting in into the crowd.
Right.
So that's the story of the prodigal son. And that was the story that Clint resonated with because of his addiction, crack addiction, alcoholism. And then he had a conversion experience when he was 21. Most people are taking their first legal drink, and he got arrested for drunk driving and then had to go to rehab. It was a Christian rehab facility. And he said, God knocked him upside the head with a 2x4 is how he worded it. And he started calling himself the prodigal son, and he had prodigal son tattooed to his forearm. Actually, hold on. I'll see if I can get a picture.
Told you there was a centerfold.
So he embraced that label.
He
That's
did.
weird.
He had prodigal son tattooed to his forearm, and even his celebration of life service, which is recorded in the book a little bit, talks about the story of the prodigal son. And the pastor joked, like, usually it's hard to pick a passage when I'm talking to family members, but for Clint, it was a cinch. So I don't know if you can see this picture right here.
Let me see if I blow it up.
Okay,
here.
yeah.
So he has prodigal son.
yeah.
He had prodigal son. And then that crackhead photo right there, the cardboard picture that says crackhead. That is him. We were doing cardboard testimonies, and that's like your pre-Jesus, post-Jesus. So like who you were before Christ and then after Christ. And the whole line of people, and they play this emotional music and everyone flips their cardboard and it's this great story. But when we were preparing our cardboard testimonies, mine was like miscarried 2 times, pregnant. I couldn't figure out how to fit his testimony onto cardboard. I'm a writer. I like to use a lot of words. So I was like, he was a drug addict. I was like, I had way too many words. He's like, so he walked into the kitchen when I'm trying to put the paint on the cardboard. He was like, Sam, what are you doing? Crackhead, Jesus freak. And he like simplified his whole story into those 4 words, crackhead, Jesus freak. So that's where the subtitle of the book came from. Prodigal son was from his forearms, and then crackhead, Jesus freak.
Did he just talk to me? Because I as you were talking, I reminded myself I wanted to ask you about the label Jesus freak. That's weird. Because Jesus freak implies to me that Jesus Revolution. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie, right? There's a movie, I think, on streaming services called The Jesus Revolution. It's about a time in the late 60s. I think the guy's name was Chuck Smith. I might have that wrong. But he was a hippie. And hippies were following him, and they brought the hippies into the church. And the original the pastor at the church was originally rejecting him, and then became a follower of his. He became very big. But that whole label of Jesus freak kind of speaks to that era, and some people wear it with pride. And I saw a young man who has a music analysis channel, and he was analyzing an Elton John song. He said, and the Tiny Dancer says, Jesus freaks out in the street, and his face lit up. He goes, that's me, that's my family story. And he started talking about that and wearing it with a badge of honor. And there are other people like, Jesus freak, that's not what we were. We were people who found religion and found faith, even though we were leading kind of this vagabond lifestyle. And to be honest with you, Jesus was pretty much a vagabond too. But so that he absorbed that title as Jesus freak willingly and was proud of that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with the DC Talk song, Jesus Freak, but that was kind of the era we grew up in. And so that song is hilarious and it's powerful. I think the lyrics are really powerful, but I think that's where the thought came from for him. And he was proud of it. He was proud of the fact that he went from a drug addict to someone who could talk about God and share his story. He played football, and the football guys were always like stunned that this like this guy. I don't know. He didn't look like a clean cut, pristine Christian who's gonna, Sunday morning churchgoer who's gonna sit in the pews. You know what I mean?
It's just so weird because for me, I know people use that term derogatory in a derogatory way, like, oh, look, he's a Jesus freak. And the freak part of it is meant to be in a negative way. It's not like a Jesus worshiper. He's not a Christian. He's a Jesus freak, And so good for him to be able to wear that. To me, I don't know. It feels insulting. I don't know. What do I know?
It was not to him. It was good.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're having John Fugelsang on, who was raised in a very Catholic environment, and he's written a book, the Separation of Church and Hate, and he's very much talking about how Christianity is divorced from Christ, and they don't know what the first 6 words of a lot of evangelicals and fundamentalists are going around. Not they're using Christ as a political or a political really is the only word for it, a political tool, and not really connecting with the true spirit of Christ. And I that to me, that hits me right in the heart, because I feel like even though I'm not a Bible scholar and I know all that we think we know about this person who existed 2,000 years ago comes from that book, but I don't feel like I need the book to know in my heart what is right and what is wrong and the spirit of all that he taught. And this is where it comes. There are people who are just relying on the book and using scripture to pervert that essence of the spirit of what that should be all about. Are you still going active part of the church?
I am an active part of the church, but I'm very mad at a lot of Christians who use the Bible as a weapon, because that's not what it's supposed to be. They take verses out of context and hit people over the head with them. This book is not, like, conservative Christians are not my audience for this book. My audience is people who've been hurt by the church, who've been wounded, who have gone to church and seen hypocrites, or who hope that there's something more to God than what the church suggests.
Right. Yeah. It said the target audience is misfits, and that's like that. That's who I want to listen. I know I'm preaching here.
I'm going to get you a copy of the book, and you're going to have to read it and tell me what you think. Okay?
I absolutely will.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Are you a reader?
Will. I force myself to read. Listen, this is my problem with the Holy Bible. Everybody tells me what a great book it is. To me, it's written in language that just bores the hell out of me. Why can't it be written for a guy like me who simplify it, make it?
That's why they have 12 different versions of it.
Well,
they do. They have like 12 different versions. They probably even have like a version of like the hippy dippy version where it's like hey yo, like Jesus said, like, hey dude, forgive the man. You know what I'm saying? Turn the other cheek, dude.
Yes, again, just in that, I feel like there's going to be a whole lot of oh, you can't read the simplified Bible or whatever. To me,
I'm not telling you to read the Bible. Just read my book and see what you think there.
Okay, all right, and you can get the book too at loveunited.com.
Yep, and Amazon.com. It's an Amazon bestseller right now. It's been on the bestseller list since Saturday, I think, and it's still there. So,
wow, good for you! Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. This is going back a few minutes, because we're talking about the Jesus Freak and where it came from, the DC Talk song. Now, the DC Talk song, it says like a fat guy had the word Jesus Freak on his belly.
Right.
So did Clint by chance? I mean, was it Tim or Clint? I'm sorry.
Sorry, Tim is my current husband. Clint is my new husband.
Okay.
Yes.
So did Clint get the belly thing on the?
No.
Tattoo on the belly?
No. His next tattoo was going to be a phoenix on his back shoulder blades, like Phoenix rising from the ashes.
Okay. I was just curious, because you're saying that's what inspired him to claim Jesus Freak.
I mean, right? he did have a little bit of belly, so if he'd thought of that, like if he and you had that conversation while he was still alive, probably absolutely would have done that. You could have
Thank God he
convinced him
never
to
met
do it.
GD because he's a terrible therapist, by the way.
He had a
Um,
lion on one delt and a lamb on the other delt.
Okay.
Too.
I have like nothing on this arm, and then on the other arm I have a matching tattoo that's nothing. Like nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I have no ink.
Yeah, no ink whatsoever.
this
I'm
is
holding out to the highest bidder. I figure, eventually, because almost everybody on the planet has a tattoo right now at some point. And at one point, if I hold out long enough, I will be the last person on earth without a tattoo, and then I will sell it to the highest bidder.
no.
Hashtag
I'm
life
sorry.
bliss.
Well, you'll have to outlive me because I am deathly afraid of needles. So that's beyond
Outliving you is not a problem. It's outliving you and keeping the show going. That's the problem.
I think we've got an official challenge here on the table.
Look, I'm the last of the Mohicans. I've outlived my grandparents, my parents, my siblings. I'm it. I'm the last one.
So
I'm
am I.
good at
Well,
good at
no.
outlasting people. You don't want to throw that gauntlet, man.
Yeah, I have a.
I have
don't know
ice
if I like
agents
this
working for
debate.
me. I have ice
I don't
agents
either.
working for me. You won't be able to walk into a bodega without looking over your shoulder.
What's Matt thinking over there?
No, I'm
He's wondering what.
I'm disappointed because our purpose here is to kind of give people a distraction, not to remind them of all the crap that's going on in the world. And every day we do remind people of all and this is something. It's very much addict-like behavior. We know. We're just trying to lighten people's loads a little bit and give them, something to laugh about, start the day on a happy note. And then we go back to, woe is me, woe is America, woe is
That's it. I don't hear the woe when I said that. I'm not saying that in the sense like, woe is America.
You reminded them of me getting beat up in a bodega.
Yes, and I think that, and I didn't say that in a mournful way. It's just a thing that happened.
You're happy I got beat
and
up
so
in a
my
bodega.
thing is, we can all do something, figure out what you can do, and let's do it, plain and simple. And so in my case, I'm saying, okay, I don't want people to forget the ugliness. I want them to acknowledge the ugliness and say, what are we going to do about it? Not, oh, it's ugly out there, I don't want to see it. No. Because if you turn your back on it, it's just going to creep on up your door and then up your ass. No, I'm saying you look at it and then avoid it. Close your cheeks. No.
The prodigal
Close your
son wouldn't
cheeks,
have been
not
a
your
good
eyes.
story if you don't show the bad. You have to show the bad to respect the good and to appreciate the good.
All right. That's fair enough. And I think you're right about that. I definitely believe in, you can't hide from the darkness, but I think our purpose here, and what do I know about purpose? But I feel like we're not necessarily telling them to forget about it. We're saying put it on the back burner for 2.5 hours, and then we keep taking it off the back burner and putting it on the front burner. Anyway.
And I say, put it on the front burner, turn the heat up.
Yep. I'm with you. Like, just deal with it.
So I'm his
other side.
advocate because if I'm the devil's advocate, he's the devil. He's not going. He's unredeemable.
That's very likely.
Yeah.
I'll find out one day.
So now, being a bestseller on the book, there's got to be there's pride in that. Are people leaving reviews on it? Because that's what really will make it worthwhile, when you actually hear from people and that it's touched them in that way, or they're being shy about it. Because and this is human nature, we're more likely to express ourselves when we feel negative things than to really say, well, thank you very much.
Leave negative reviews rather than positive ones. Yeah.
So are you getting a bunch of great reviews that kind of make you know that the work was worthwhile?
Yeah, I am. Like I said, that one woman called me or messaged me and was thanking me, and then other beta readers. People are still finishing the book. The book just came out January 1st. So only a few people have finished reading it at this point. But because they didn't get it until January 3rd or 4th or whatever. But my mom actually called me yesterday. She's like, my friend bought a book. She thought it was amazing, and she's telling her sister to buy it. So that's a huge compliment to me, to know that like someone didn't just like the book, they liked it enough to share it with someone else and like tell someone else to go buy it. Like that, there's a compliment in there, even if it doesn't feel like one. You know what I mean?
Yes, on that note, for the audience, this is for the audience. If you, even if you don't buy the book, go to your library and tell them to buy the book. Uh, it's really important to support our authors in that way. Everybody, and we have like so many different libraries that are represented here. Tell your library to order the book, even if you don't even plan on going there and picking it up and reading it. Ask your librarian.
Well, it's a great way to get a free book, have the library pay for it, and then just check it out and read it yourself. That's perfect.
Absolutely. And I think it's something that because you're like 3,500 of authors that I've interviewed over the last 7 years, lots of them. And I think it's something that didn't dawn on me till recently. We have to, not just me, because I will go to my library, but why am I not telling the audience to do this exact same thing? And it's not about the money. It's about more visibility. It's about being there and giving the opportunity for people who really don't have the money for books to go out and
Right.
buy it. People who are just addicted to reading, and that's their happy place in life. They can't afford to go out and buy every book they want to read. Like my mother, God rest her soul, she would read 10 books a week, and you can't afford to go out and buy 10 books a week. So ask your library to do it for you. But coming back to the review part, does that inspire? Because for me, if somebody said, "I really like that song, I really like that painting," I'm going to run home and start work on something new.
Another
Is
one.
that an does that make you kind of, oh, I know I've done something here. Let me put my creative work, my creative energies to work right now. Does it inspire you to get busy on the next one?
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the right track. And I actually need to step out of the grief space for a little bit because it's been so heavy. So I'm actually working on a romantic suspense series right now. And the first book comes out March 31st, The Lakeshore Secret. But it's actually been a relief to talk about murder and to write about murder. Like that feels like a break for me.
I can relate to that. A good old murder always sets me back in the right direction
Yeah,
of
right.
where I'm supposed.
I'm not murdering people. I'm just
I know. I'm kidding.
I just
This
want
is
to put
just
that out there to the universe.
no,
Like
no.
that is not an
Uh,
autobiography.
but
And you're not condoning it. You're just
Right.
exploiting it. I understand. There's a difference.
I have now. This might just seem stupid or silly or whatever, but why March 31st? Why not wait one more day and really make it count? Like April Fool's Day. It seems. I don't know. I resonate with the day. For me, April Fool's Day is my day.
I don't know what to tell you. My publisher picked the date, and so that's what we're doing. I had someone who owns a publishing company actually came to me and said, "Do you have anything like that you haven't published? Anything that you've worked on?" And like, yeah, I have this romantic suspense book that's just kind of sitting in the closet, so to speak. And she's like, "Let me read it." And now we're publishing it. So
Wow.
that was
Last question, and I'll let you go. And I appreciate you being here, and we hope people will. If you buy the book, read the book, and if you don't buy the book, get your library to buy the book for you, but still read the book.
And
then
tell me
leave
what you think.
a
I
review.
love hearing what people think about it, even if it's not positive. Like you wrote that poorly, or you need to work on this, or I wish you hadn't said that. Like it helps me to become a better writer, even to hear negative feedback. So
Yeah.
But
Well, good for you. That what, this is something that I've been on lately. Is that recognizing that even though you're successful, you're a best-selling author now. You still want to become better, and I think that is a true artist. Is somebody who has found success and feels successful, knows they're successful, but still says, I need to improve, and there's always that. So good for you. I admire that in very sincere
you.
way. Do you, what is your day like? Do you write every day? Are you habitually?
I love writing, so I write as often as I possibly can. I've been doing a lot of interviews lately, just to tell people about the prodigal son. So I'll try to like block off a day or two and just write my little heart out with uninterrupted. Turn on Do Not Disturb on my phone, put in some AirPods and listen to music, and just go
What do you
for it.
listen to? What music?
Matt Napo. That's what she
Matt
listens to.
Napo.
She's all got the
When
Matt Napo Spotify playlist.
When I am writing, I listen to action movie instrumental music.
Oh, okay. So
Wow.
like Silverado, the music from like I'm just picking it because that's one of my favorite action movies, like
Too
Silverado.
loud.
But that's a Western.
I listen to instrumental because if I hear the words, then I start singing along, or
Right.
or it distracts me. So action movie instrumental.
Yeah, but not the. He's talking about. No, you can't write with that stuff going on. Anyway.
Oh, I can.
He's a terrible.
I grew up with a lot of noise in the house, and when it comes to writing, I'm comfortable being in the room with a lot of chaos going on in the background. It helps me ignore, and I can just focus on that. And
right. If there's a lot of chaos, it turns into white noise. If there's only one voice talking, it's distracting.
Yeah. Now I have that. Well, that's
what?
There's sometimes there's chaos, and sometimes there's things you should pay attention to. I was focusing on doing my homework when I was about 8 years old. I was doing my homework in the dining room, and my nephew, he was at the time 6 months old, or maybe a little bit older, because he was starting to walk around and grab furniture. He was at that stage. He wasn't walking, but he was mobile and grabbing furniture. And he was like making noise and pulling things and knocking things over. And I was ignoring him because that was my job to babysit him. So I was ignoring him and doing my homework. And then all of a sudden, you hear this, wah! And it was a different noise. I had to stop and I look, and he's got this blood streaming down his face. He had hit his head on the corner of the furniture. And my first reaction was, I got homework to do. I can't be stopping your bleeding. But
I do the same thing to my kids. I'm writing a book. What do you need? Yeah.
1 or 2 Band-Aids. Come on.
That probably is the most uplifting message I've heard today. Not the kid with the blood on his face. Although I do. The idea, because I feel guilty about that. My wife will come in and start talking to me. I'm doing what? I'm working on it. I'm glad you do that too.
I do it too. Like, what do you need? What do you need?
Yeah.
Find
so
it
now
yourself.
I don't have to feel guilty. You've done something good here today. We relieved my guilt for snapping at my wife every time she wants to talk to me when I'm in the middle of creating something. So
it's hard because you go into a space and it's like jerking you out of that creative space when someone talks.
And it's hard to stop that mindset there. It's like a transition. It does, like, the mindset doesn't stop. It slowly, gradually. It's like when I wake up. It's like when I wake up in the morning, the dream is still there partially, and then reality is there. And somewhere there's like a transition period where the dream fades and reality sets in.
So so when people call you out of the creative, it feels like a choke collar, like they're yanking you out of.
And non-creatives don't get that. Non-creatives don't get that. They don't understand. It's not like a switch. It's like, no, it's gradual, and it may take 30. Some people take 30 seconds to transition. Some people, they can transition a minute. Some in a couple of seconds, but it's a transition period.
I got to be that, because I have to clip this, because it is really important for people who live with a creative and who might experience this to know it's not personal. It's not directed at you. It is something inside of the creative process that makes us feel like, if I don't get this out now, I'm going to lose.
You're gonna lose it.
Let me. Yeah. So.
And that's so nerve-wracking, because you had it, and you walk around and you go like, and you try to recreate the space. You try to recreate the moment, and it's gone. It's like, and sometimes you get it back. It happened with me once. I've been working on something, a concept for comedy, for like maybe 8 years or something, and I couldn't find the words for it. I was on the phone talking to another comedian, and it just blurted out the whole stream of consciousness, and it was like there. And it was like, oh, that's hilarious. That's great. That's perfect. And I said, yeah. And then I finished the phone call, and I couldn't. It took me 2 years. I never got that moment back. I had to find something else. But at least I knew it was possible. It's like, okay, a solution to this is out there. No,
Well, Samantha, I appreciate you being here. I'm gonna say goodbye to you now, but I want you to be here for this. While I tell him this is the reason he's a terrible therapist, because his job as a therapist to listen, not share his stories. And he's always sharing. You're just supposed to. A good therapist would just sit there and listen.
And that's why I'm not a therapist.
Please, you know what? I will ask my library for the book, and I'm going to order the book myself. But you know what? If you want to send me a PDF to get started on it before it gets here, that would help too. Please, you know,
come back on April 2nd when after March 31st, after the next book comes out.
Get back on April 1st, as long as it's a weekday. We do. That's what I was about to say. When your next book comes out, please do come back and visit us. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
I would love that. Thank you so much.
You have definitely listen. No smoke. You've definitely lightened my perception about things today, and kind of made me feel good about stuff. So I thank you for that, and I applaud everything that you are doing to help other people who are dealing with grief. And I hope God is good to you. So thank you for being here.
You've helped me as well. I really feel inspired to use crack now. Thank you.
Yeah. Be well.
Please. I made sure not to do like a how-to in the book, so I'm sorry that is not in there.
Yeah.
Now I got to start from scratch.
Good for you. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and be well till we see you again. Bye for now.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye. SC or Samantha Evans Schritter. You know what? I would call up her Clint's family and just try to get to the bottom of it. Did you just spell your name that way? Kind of like, I don't know.
Well, it's German, so.
Yeah, but Schadenfreude then, right? They love to watch you slip on it. That's what that means, right? Slipping on a banana peel so they could laugh.
I think in Germany, I think they just use extra consonants just so they know what side, what country people are from.
You got to love her URL. Don't you got to love her URL? Loveunited.com. Not the airline, by the way. Are they?
Oh, it's funny. I thought that said Love Unedited. I wasn't really reading it well.
It does say Love Unedited.
Does it? I don't know.
You're right. I read it as United. Love Unedited.
Oh, okay.
My bad. You're good. Even though you're a rotten therapist, you're a good proofreader.
Like I said, I wasn't even reading it. It just scrolled across the thing.
You're a rotten therapist. Just accept it.
Sure.
Yeah. Wow. You know what? I'm an idiot. I can't read. That's the problem. Isn't that the problem? She said, "Are you a reader?" I am a reader, but I am obviously a terrible reader. This is my problem with the Holy Bible, and this is what I'm going to talk to John about tomorrow. Is that, and I kind of alluded to this yesterday, the way you look at The Godfather. Everybody says it's a great movie. You can't appreciate it. Everybody says it's a good book, and I'm like,
I don't say it's a good book.
Oh, everybody but you says it's a good book. And,
well, I call it the good book. But it's tongue in cheek.
It's a tough read, man. And this is what my problem with it. If let's say this God, there he is. I'm going to give him a book. Wouldn't he know that it's going to be a tough read? Doesn't God have an editor who says, maybe you want to simplify?
Well, that's the problem. God didn't just have 8 editors. God had like many, 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 many editors. Because most of that stuff God didn't write.
They were all bad editors then.
That book was not written by God. No, not even a little bit.
Well, this is going to be a part, and I love John. I've been trying to get him on the program for a while. Tomorrow, I'm excited he's going to be here. But I don't feel like, and I tried to talk to Samantha about this, I don't feel like I need the Bible, even though.
You don't?
Well, here's the conundrum, though. All that we think we know about Jesus or this person, Jesus of Nazareth, all that we think we know about him comes from that book. It really doesn't come from any other place other than that book. So for me to say, I know him without reading the book feels like, how could you know him? Because even if you never read the book, it's been filtered through other humans, but that comes from the book. So
okay, now this is where people, I guess, are getting hung up on it.
I'm hung up on it.
In Jesus's case, if you understand if you believe in that thing, if you believe in Jesus, Jesus was not pointing at himself. Jesus kept trying to point toward God. So it doesn't matter if you get to know Jesus or not. Doesn't matter. Jesus wanted you to get to know God, plain and simple. That's it. That was the whole point.
Hold on, and
Yeah.
I'll let you finish that point. This is where you talk about where people get hung up because, yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's how I think I know whatever I think I know about Jesus. Is he not egomaniac or egomaniacal or whatever? But then you come back to these people. There's no other way to heaven but through me. There's no other salvation but through me. That doesn't.
Yeah, and that's why I started off. I said people get hung up on. There are things that people. Okay, Jesus was not talking to the whole world. He had a small audience of people right in those little towns. Okay, I mean, just think about this. If you have an all-powerful being, a God, who knows the world has at some point will have. If he gave the order to be fruitful and multiply, he must know that there's people all over the planet. So why send just one Jesus to one place? Okay. If that's the case, you want your message out there. You want it to be all around the world, and you want it to be uncorruptible, right? So it's the whole thing is stupid for people to think that Jesus was talking to the whole world. He had an audience. The enemy were the Romans. Okay, that's the Jews were dealing with the Romans at the time.
Yeah,
not the Nazis.
Yeah,
I mean, hatred
wanted
is
a Messiah
hatred.
from the Roman Empire, not
right. Hatred is hatred. So yeah, you can say, well, the Romans, the Nazis, hatred is hatred. Yeah, but the Jews weren't dealing with the Nazis back then. The Native Americans weren't dealing with the Europeans back then. Okay, these things were happening locally in that area. Jesus was like there, okay, for them. That's it.
Huh.
Okay.
So you have your own personal Jesus, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, and I have my own personal. Yeah.
I think you're a week late with that.
Well, that's because I'm just getting around to seeing that episode.
All right. Am I feeling any better about? No,
I don't know.
I'm feeling better about myself personally, but about where we're at as a hope for the human race, and because yesterday really put me in a really bad place. Not tragedies happen,
yeah,
but the reaction to people just looking for a way to just justify it. Oh no, we got to angle this for our team. We got to figure out. Stop making excuses. It was a bad thing. And you're supporting a bad thing, and just accept that and take responsibility for your part in enabling just really atrocious behavior. But no, we can't have that. We have to say, oh, you know what? You gotta look at every angle and say, well, she was bad.
Okay. I'm going to let you know, Matt. I'm going to work on some crawls to put at the bottom as disclaimers, because sometimes I feel like saying something and I don't want the YouTube people to go, oh my God, he said something. It's like, no, I want this disclaimer at the bottom, so while I'm saying it, they can see, all right, this is the. Yeah, but that's just, I'm not talking about that though. But yes, along those lines, yes.
Well, usually when you're talking, okay. I'm having suicidal.
In that case.
As soon as you start opening your mouth, it's like, oh,
it makes sense then.
Why was I born?
Well, I was so angry when I saw Kristi Noem at the podium with the bullshit and lies. I was so fucking angry that I could have taken a board and smacked her right across the face. I and not just her, but all the people standing behind her, because that's why they put people behind them. So there's like, see, I'm not alone in this. These people believe this too. And I couldn't stand there. Job be damned. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit there and let the world think that I'm okay with this. Okay. I'd have to find another job. I'd have to find another something, and the sheer fact that you walked away from it probably get you a book deal. Okay. Yeah. So walk away. If it's money, walk away and say, this is why I walked away. These fucking people are crazy. These fucking people are killers. That's annoying as fuck to see that. That's what really, the cop that killed her, untrained, stupid as shit, needs to stand trial. Okay. But then beyond that moment, the woman's dead, is what we did after the moment. They wouldn't let the ambulance through. You know, they wouldn't let the ambulance through. A woman tried to offer first aid. They stopped her from doing it. Those are the moments that really piss me off. The moments after the mistake, the moments after the deed. It's like you have an opportunity to try to make things better, or not. You know, you can't undo it. You fucked up. You killed a woman for no reason.
Right.
But then to go on and pile the shit up on pile and pile and pile, it's like, okay, we've killed her, and now we're really going to make sure she's dead. Nobody go to help her.
Right. And beyond that, even, you know, you're right about all the first aid and all that kind of stuff, and they weren't letting an ambulance through and all that.
Right.
But even in the fact that she did not, she was trying to run the guy. If she wanted to run him over, he would have been run over. But even after that, she got away. He's still firing at it. If somebody running away, it's like shooting somebody in the back.
Yes.
And that there's and still shooting at it. And this is the problem. When you just put out, we're hiring anybody. We need to get these spics off the street, man. Let's send them back to Beaner country, shithole America. We got, you know, you hate brown people. Come on, join. Put down your video game controller and come on, get a real gun. And that's what happened. And so when you support that, fucking Russ White, stay the fuck out of my fucking chat room, you fucking Nazi prick. When you support that, you are responsible for it. So we have this team mentality. Oh, I can't let the team down to show that, you know, we were wrong here. Fuck you. You take responsibility for it. You're not going to, and this will come back to the conversation. How can you ask for forgiveness when you haven't given up what you needed to be forgiven for? If you want peace in America, stop fucking supporting Nazi Gestapo tactics. Just stop it. And say it's wrong. Now we can come back to middle ground here. I can't deal with these fucking people who just rah Gestapo, Goebbels. Fuck them all. And this is why, you know, those people in my life who keep saying, you know, politics is nothing to we've been friends too long. I love you, man. No, you don't fucking love me. You love fucking being on the team that hates people. That's what you love. Fucking get right. You shot and there's a mother, an innocent woman who was doing no wrong, and you're trying to fucking find a way to make excuses for that. And there's no fucking excuse for that. Here we are talking about it. I didn't want to talk about it, but we're talking about it. See, that's what I mean about addict behavior. I can't stop myself. This is bad. I need an intervention. You know, and it's not going to get better tomorrow. Not going to get better because John, we're going to have this conversation again. I know John is definitely on the same page as I am with being fed up with the small C Christians. You know, I'm just going to use the name. I don't care what he actually said or did or was supposedly said or did or whatever. I don't care about all that. The message isn't what's important. The thing is important. We're on the team of white God. We're on the team of white God. Guy with the nice hippie long hair and the nice just for God beard or whatever. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're a terrible therapist. You're supposed to chime in and say, how does that make you feel? Or something.
How does that make me feel?
Angry. Yeah. So what else? Is there anything else?
Yeah.
What?
Actually, I mentioned this. I noticed I changed the background. Well, there we go. I changed it because I am still
funny. Funny
what
is going to show up. Yeah.
I don't understand how that keeps happening.
What is the Stables?
That's the name of the venue.
The Stables? Is it a horse place?
No, but that's their logo. Yeah. Well, actually, that is. I tried to put their logo there, but when I did the thing you do when you try to isolate all the background.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. Magic, or at least Magic Select or whatever it is. It kept coming out so crappy. I had to fix more. I kept trying to fix it, and it had to. By the time I kept repairing it, I said I can just recreate my own version of their logo.
Oh.
Which is what I did.
Oh, that is so wrong.
Yeah,
That is so wrong.
It is.
You're gonna get sued. And
But I doubt that they will notice, except for the fact that the letter, and also the lettering in their logo was a different color, and it wouldn't show up on the background.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'll put in white lettering because that shows up.
Yeah.
And I'll have similar horses to what they had.
All right.
You know?
I need to calm down, don't I? Need to calm down a little. I have to get with a friend who is trying to buy a domain name for his thing. That I'm helping him kind of get his thing going. You have a problem getting your thing going?
A few times, yeah.
Right.
And that's why I've in the past I've taken sildenafil.
All right.
You know, once in a while.
I just want to thank everybody who's still with us, who hasn't abandoned us yet, and put up with my ranting without coming back with some Nazi propaganda at me. I want to thank all you people, because there have been a few.
Now, speaking of Nazi propaganda, by chance did you read the forward, and what did you think?
I have not read it yet. I'm going to read it today.
Okay, well, I already sent it to him.
Wow.
I sent it this morning.
You're in a rush. Well, I appreciate that.
Because he wanted it by the 13th. He wanted it by the 13th, and if I send it today and he looks at it, and if he says, I like it, can you make it longer? Or I like it, can you make it shorter? I like it, can you remove all the consonants? I have time to do that before the 13th.
Move all the consonants?
I'm just saying, well, I don't know what he'd ask. I'm just...
you run the danger of saying who he is when you say he, so you should just shut the fuck up. I'm sorry.
No, I know how to say he and not say his name. Yeah, I know how to say he and not say his name.
All right. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right. So tomorrow, John Fugelsang, and then I think somebody else, John Daly. It's not the golfer John Daly, who, right? We have an author, John P. Daly, right? Tomorrow. What do we have? Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because you're going to try to read his book, and I'm going to go back and read the jokes that he wrote for Politipod.
Well, I started into the book. I'm not going to finish the book by today, but I've already learned something. Pat Daly, not John Daly.
So, did you learn whether or not he was a minister?
I don't know. He's not a minister. His father was a brother, Franciscan brother, not too far from me, and I've actually been to the church. So it's a kind of, my son grew up in the town that he grew up in. I mean, basically same. So he went to the same church as my son went to. How about that?
Okay.
His father was a brother in the church, and his mother was a sister in a convent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's breaking the rules. Anyway. That's a show. Is that a show? Do we feel like that was a show? We can call it.
I mean, back in the day, I was considering joining the Franciscan Friars, and
which is different than the Friars Club.
Yes, before in fact, they recommended I join the Shake and Bakes because they thought the frying was too, fattening.
Oven fryer.
They're looking out for my cholesterol.
Yeah.
But before you actually get welcomed into the club and they start training, there's like a period, like an interview period, like an interview for a job. And they said, we may not be the right fit for you. You'd be better off as a Jesuit, because the Jesuits are more intellectual. They have continuing education, blah blah blah, and so they thought I'd be a better Jesuit than a Franciscan friar. And I'm thinking to myself, well, the first Franciscan friars, that place is only like down the street. Jesuits, I had to drive like another 5 miles. There's no way I'm doing that.
Yeah. You know what? This whole organized religion, I'm out. But I do. Again, this is why it's such a conundrum for me, because I can't relate to the book. Everything we know comes from the book, but I feel like I know it in my heart. I know good from evil. I know right from wrong. You don't have to be taught right from wrong. You can feel it, right? Or I'm wrong.
See, I have an experience that I have something I an experience I went through when I was in my 20s, and I'm really I don't like talking about it. Not that it's pleasant or unpleasant. It's just that I don't feel like answering questions beyond what I say, if that makes sense.
No,
I just want to. Okay.
Nothing makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Well, when I was in my 20s, I don't know, it was early 20s, like 20, 21, 22, somewhere in there. I'd done a 40-day fast. And during that time of fasting, I was like reading and prayer and the whole Nazarene Nazarite thing. A Nazarite, that's a sect of Judaism, kind of like what Samson was.
Walk around Nazi.
Yeah, Samson was a Nazarite, and so I kind of adhered to that philosophy for a while. And so I was fasting and praying and so forth. And in the middle of one of my, probably right around the 13th or 14th day of fasting, had this experience. And the individual said to me, if you found out that all of this was a lie, and he was talking to the book, talking about the book, the Bible.
Star 90.
He says, if you found out that all of this was a lie today, would you still believe tomorrow? And I said, yes, but not in the Bible. I said,
if I say it to you tomorrow,
yeah, the Bible could be. Is it if you found out the Bible was a lie? Would you still believe in God? And I said, I would believe in a God, not that God.
See, this is what I'm going to try and. I hate to be confrontational, but she called me the
No,
devil's
you
advocate.
don't.
Well, you're right. But I mean, with people about their faith, like I'm trying to talk them out of their faith. The problem I have with the Bible is, if you're going to believe the Bible and be a really stickler to it and word for word verbatim, there's some ridiculous stuff in there. Like no logical person can believe all, word for word that this is literally truth on all of it. It's just like,
I think that one of the worst things to ever happen to humanity is books. And the reason I say that is because before the Bible was written, huh?
You're a book burner.
No, I'm a book denier. I don't want to. I think that's one of the worst things that happened to humanity. And the reason I said is because before it was written down, they were just thoughts and conversations, and people, would discuss these philosophies and stuff. Once you write things down, it adds an extra layer of credibility to it. It almost like it's forever. Because you see it written, now it's forever. It's more important. What I have written is more important than what you think. What I have written is more important than what you feel. What I have written is more important than what you know. And so in your heart that there's something better out there. You know this in your heart, there's something you can do good. And you look at this book because it's written, it's like, okay, well, yeah, it's okay to own slaves. But in your heart, no, it's not. And so because that's different than people in this book. But say, yeah, see, but look, right here, it says in the book, slavery is okay if they're brown or whatever, So that's why I think sometimes having things written down.
Brown? Does it say if they're brown?
Well, I think they detected a certain faith or a certain ethnicity or something.
Really?
Well, almost all the people in that area were brown, right? So
everybody.
It's not like they were like importing slaves from Upper Europe, Norway, which may not have existed.
I think they were.
I know they were Norse, but I don't think they were importing. And besides, you couldn't import them because they were so violent. There's no way they'd be slaves down to,
All right.
I'm just saying that I don't think that when the Jews were going around conquering small villages that they could have taken on the Norse. I don't think so.
All I'm saying is if you have a Republican daughter who's 13 years old and she says she got pregnant in a dream, believe it. It doesn't mean that her daddy. I'm sorry. I'm just
especially if her name is Mary, and her boyfriend is in his 30s and his name is Joseph.
Yes, seems a little fishy. Anyway, I'm sorry. See, this is because I know people who feel strongly about this stuff. They think that this comes off as like I'm trying to dissuade them. You cannot, and I'm trying to persuade you that you can believe in the spirit of good in Jesus, if you want to call it Jesus, whatever. You can believe in God without believing every literal word of the book. Some of it might not. It might just be people getting shit wrong, right? Some of it could be, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't believe. If whatever gets you through the day, whatever gets you through the
Whatever
night.
gets you through the night.
Oh, it's
All
all right.
right.
It's all right.
All
It's all
right.
right. It's all right. Man. All right. In the meantime, tune in tomorrow. Don't forget to turn on your radio, and bye for now.
listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.